experimental probability. There are situations, one of them we'll discuss in a moment. For example, if you think about a drawing pin can land on a surface, pin up, or pin down. But unlike something like a coin or a die, we don't have a symmetry that we can use to say what the probability is of each case. So what we might need to do in this case is just toss a lot of drawing pins and see how many land pin up and pin down. And the more we do, the more accurate our result could be taken to be. So experimental probability is the chance of an event happening based on an experiment. Another situation might be how successful you are at shooting basketballs. Let's say you go to the free throw line. The way to do this is take a lot of free throws and see how many times you get the basket. So the estimated probability of an event, also known as the relative frequency, is the number of times the event occurred over the total number of trials done. So in the situation with the drawing pins, let's say you toss 1,000 and then 683 land this way, the probability of pin up would be 683 divided by 1,000. If you go to the free throw line and you take 100 throws and you get 63 of them in, then you'd say your probability is 63 over 100. Clearly, as you perform more and more experiments, this probability may change. But in the case of something like the drawing pins, you would hope that it will settle down to the true value. Now, here's a question. If I toss a coin 100 times, will I get 50 heads and 50 tails? The probability of that actually happening, of you getting a 50-50 there, is 0.0796 to 4 decimal places, which means it would happen about 8 times in 100. So theoretically, you're going to get 50 heads and 50 tails half the time. But in practice, that's not going to happen. You could get 50 heads and 50 tails, but you could get 49 heads and 51 tails, and all sorts of other combinations. So all of these different things are possible, and as you get older, you'll learn ways of working out how to get this probability for exactly 50 heads and 50 tails theoretically. So if you do an experiment with a coin, and let's say you do toss it 100 times, and you get 53 heads, then your experimental probability or relative frequency for the head is 53 over 100. And that could just be because of the natural variation in experiment, even though the coin is fair, or it could be that you're dealing with a biased coin, and only further experiment will give you an answer as to which it is.